Donald's fed up.
I don't often agree 100% with what Donald Trump says, but I reckon most of humanity would say he was on point with this one.
They don't know what the they're doing.
Israel and Iran are now so blinded by hate they no longer recognise the social contract. Whomever runs Iran after this unpleasantness is finished...
Assuming it does finish.
It'll have to finish because they're going to run out of money and armies don't fight if they're not getting paid. I don't know what Tehran's budget is, but the Wall Street Journal has estimated the war is costing Israel $200 million US a day. By the time it ends, or at least goes from boil to simmer, whoever's kingpin in Tehran will hopefully have realised that the regime policy of pretending Israel doesn't formally exist is not sustainable. Israel is not fake news. It's there.
Israel's going nowhere.
For a while there, it could have been going somewhere else though. Believe it or not, there was a plan to make Israel part of Australia.
What?
In 1938. Very clear that the Jewish people were in grave danger from Hitler's Third Reich. Anti-Semitism wasn't just a problem in Germany, it was sweeping most of Eastern Europe. Jewish leaders created what they called the Freeland League for Jewish Territorial Colonisation. It was essentially a lobby group charged with persuading different nations to cede areas of their country for a Jewish state. A man named Isaac Steinberg, who, apropos nothing, served as Attorney General to Vladimir Lenin, thought 7 million acres in Australia's Kimberley region would be a perfect place for 75,000 persecuted European Jews to settle in.
Well, what was the pitch?
The deal he floated with the Australian government was actually pretty simple. You give us a parcel of Crown land and we will turn it into a prosperous farming province. Steinberg proposed that Australia cede land east of Wyndham in what became known as the Kimberley Project.
Well, how did that go down?
Surprisingly, it had some quite broad support. As was the style at the time, of course, nobody asked the Aboriginal people who lived there what they thought. I'm sure they would have had an opinion about being dispossessed by the dispossessed. But putting that to one side, the WA Premier at the time, John Wilcock, was open to it. Steinberg talked a big game, cities and factories and industrial areas across the top end of Australia. He was promising pretty much what every Australian government has tried and failed to do since colonisation, but the plan was vetoed by then Prime Minister Robert Menzies. Menzies' cabinet had decided that the Commonwealth does not favour the settlement of any one area by a group of migrants, as the establishment of an isolated community of migrants is contrary to the government's assimilation aims.
Okay, so concerns about assimilation.
Well, that was the official rationale, but you have to remember that Bob Menzies was the architect of the White Australia policy and was really only one step away from having a "F off we're full" sticker on his bumper.
You have been described as a racist.
Have I?
I'm Ben Harvey.